Hey YouTube, how's it going? This is NEStalgiaholic. Today's episode we're going to take a closer look at the Thundercats action figure toy line. Let's take a closer look. Hey guys, okay, here is my collection of Thundercats action figures. Now by all means this is not a complete set. I'm missing a lot of figures, accessories, play sets, but I just wanted to show you what I have. Talk a little bit about the history of Thundercats and why it's one of my personal favorite cartoons growing up. And I'm sure if you guys grew up in the 1980s, I'm sure you guys remember seeing this, or at least remember hearing about it. Even today, a lot of people are familiarized with Thundercats. Thundercats, oh, right? Anyway, the series itself came out in 1985. It lasted about 150 episodes, and by early 1990, the show was taken off the air. Okay. Now, Telepictures was the company that initially started up this whole series, but it was the thought and the process and story and stuff behind it was just created back in 1982 and 1983. And it wasn't until 1985 that the whole thing made it to the airways. Okay. Now, and eventually, Telepictures merged with a company called Lorimar. Okay, and they eventually became Telepictures Lorimar, and finally Warner Brothers purchased it and stuff. Now Warner Brothers owns all the rights to Thundercats that we see even today. And eventually, I think Cartoon Network had Thundercats early 2000s. They had Thundercats syndicated on Cartoon Network, which is really cool because Warner Brothers is affiliated with Cartoon Network, or it's just one of the, I don't know, something like that. There's some relation connection there. But in a nutshell, the story is based on your Thundercats here, and you got your villains, the mutants to my right, and basically they're from Thundra, a planet called Thundra, and they're kind of living on Earth, Third Earth is what they call it, and they're basically battling over that. Now they have this Lino right here. He has a sword, and there's this eye and the sword, and it gives them the power of, you know, what they can do. It gives them basically their power. And I don't know what's with the 80s shows and swords. He-Man did the same thing, but essentially they're kind of battling over that. So in a nutshell, that's kind of basically what it's all about. Okay. Now these figures themselves were released by LJN back in 1985. It only lasted a couple of years till 1987. Now LJN, you guys might be familiar with LJN from Nintendo games. They made a lot of NES games, a lot of video games, a lot of really bad ones. You know, they were really famous for merchandising, like making really bad TV shows and movies. Like they made Friday the 13th, for example, video game, and you know, none of the video games were really good, but they did do a decent job on these figures. This one is Lino. He is the main hero, okay, in the show. Now each one of these figures has a little switch on the back, and you hit the switch and he moves his arms. I think both arms are supposed to move, but unfortunately only his right one is moving. Okay, he's about, I'd say, about 8 inches tall. His head can move, his arm, you know, his shoulders can move, he can move at the hips, but his knees don't bend or anything like that. Now in this particular figure, there's a hole here, and basically it came with a key, and you put it in the slot, and it would make his head glow, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty cool to this particular one. Okay, now you got Tigra. Tigra is his second in command. He doesn't have the slot, he doesn't glow, but he definitely has a switch, and he's just a little bit shorter, maybe an inch shorter than Lino. Okay, here's Chitara, and for a while, Chitara was one of the only females in the show, but they eventually did come out with a new one. Her arms both move, as you can see. Okay, and she's obviously looking like a cheetah. Okay, now some of the figures came with these minifigures as well. These are called Willy Kit and Willy Cat. I'm not sure which one's which, but these figures are a lot smaller, and they don't really bend or anything like that, but those are Willy Kit and Willy Cat. Now I think they'd also had Willy Kit and Willy Cat separate figures as well, but this was just the minifigures that came packed with some of the action figures. Okay, now on to the villains. This is Mumra, and I think his whole history is he's from Egypt, and you know, so he's a mummy, and this is one particular version of him. Okay, he's the main villain in the show, and then this is him also when he kind of morphs and changes whatever, and he obviously he's a lot bigger, and he has a switch. He has a switch in the back. I'm gonna have to take off his helmet here real quick. Oh, I guess he's going to turn his head like 360 as well, but he has a switch as well. And if you look on the back, he's got a hole, and his eyes glow if you have a key. Okay, so it's a pretty cool feature. And then there were a whole bunch of mutants, and these are the bad guys in the show, and this is one particular mutant. He's got a weapon and stuff. But essentially, that's the collection, and it's a really fun show. Now, they were going to release a CGI movie this year, 2010. And Warner Brothers are going to produce it, and I think they got freaked out because Speed Racer, which Warner Brothers also has the rights to, flopped. So I think that movie's on hold. Last time I heard, they're talking about 2012 doing a CGI Thundercats movie. I would really look forward to that, seeing that. I think it'd be awesome to see that. But anyway, thanks so much for watching, guys. Until next time, this is NEStalgiaholic. Take care.